So this is the Kennebec River crossing. There's some through hikers going north being carried across the river with a canoe, because you have to do that because when they let the locks out, the water can rise 4 feet and people could drown. So this is part of the official route to cross the Kennebec River by canoe. Off to a good vigorous hike this morning. I stayed at the Sterling Inn last night and it was nice. I went into town, had a burger and a couple beers, some ice cream, came back to the inn, soaked in the tub, and then I got all my resupply for the next few days. I'm going over the Bigelows, and I ran out of food my last leg back there from Shaw's. I thought I was being smart and not over packing for food, but then I still had one day where I hiked all day on not that much food. So I don't really want to carry a lot of extra food for the extra weight, but I don't really like that feeling of having to hike all day on an empty stomach. Especially if it's 14 miles. So I kind of did it up this time, got plenty of food. I noticed on the scale that I lost 10 pounds, so I feel pretty good. I think it'd be good to go over some of the health issues I've had. So I feel really healthy on this trail. I feel like it's really good exercise, but I had some struggles. I was struggling with type 2 diabetes. I think I was just on the edge of having pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes. I also had high blood pressure, and I had peripheral neuropathy, which was like a numbness in my fingers and toes that I would get after I ate a lot of carbs. So I lost 20 pounds to get ready for this through hike, which brought my blood sugar down and my blood pressure, but not all the way. I still had some struggles with type 2 diabetes. I'm kind of prone genetically to type 2 diabetes. My dad's a lot of siblings he has. My aunts and uncles have type 2 diabetes. And so I'm trying to stave that off so I can enjoy being active in my 50s, 60s, 70s. There's a lot of people out here hiking that are older, but I see a lot of the northbound hikers, and I see what type of older people have made it this far. Like if I see them in Maine, that means they've come around 2,000 miles, and you see some old guys, but you don't see any fat old guys. You see kind of lean, mean hikers with a white beard, like thin and shape, wiry. That's the kind of people it takes to do this whole trail. So I'm getting there myself. So overall this year I've lost, I think, 30 pounds. So plan to lose some more, but also I want to eat enough protein to keep my muscles recovering, my joints, ligaments. One thing I did that I think was smart is I trained at altitude to get ready for this through hike. I did this trail in Montana that goes up 1,000 feet of elevation in 0.8 of a mile, and I was living at elevation in Helena. Not quite as high as Colorado, but it was still pretty good elevation. And so the uphill climbs are really not that hard for me here, because I really pushed myself to get in shape. So I think my heart rate is good, my breathing's good when I'm going up a big hill. But coming down on these steep descents can beat up my joints. So at age 54, my recovery time is less than if I was one of these 20-year-old kids. So I try to take it easy on the descents, but I like to charge up the mountains. It feels good. And I was thinking, my peripheral neuropathy has pretty much gone away. I think my body is not having sharp sugar spikes, my blood sugar. So I think this exercise is good for me. So that's gonna be a challenge to maintain like this type of active lifestyle after I get off the trail. Stretches of trail like this is what makes the state of Maine one of the most challenging states on the Appalachian Trail. There's just no getting through this quickly. This should be fun. This is quite a bridge right here. Wow, that was really something. Probably shouldn't have done it with my phone. Nice waterfall. Oh, probably complained about taxation.
Yeah, that's always bizarre to me, especially it's like...
This, my friends, is a wood frog. You can see him, he's very camouflaged right now. But he has a stripe under his eye. And these are a type of frog that lives out in the woods, hence the name wood frog. But one interesting thing about this frog is they have antifreeze in their blood. And they could actually freeze solid in the winter and reanimate in the spring. It's a pretty amazing ability because we're pretty far north up here in Maine. Another bog with a bog bridge. This might be fun. Nice. It's nice to have a breeze. I've been hiking through a really swampy area with no wind. I've been getting gnats up my nose and in my eyes and in my ears. So that was rough. This is kind of cool. This is the kind of place where I keep my eyes open for moose. Look at all these nice cedar trees. These are beautiful cedar trees in here. Looks like a sphagnum bog. Sphagnum is a moss. I think I talked about it at Star's place. It's like a sterile dressing you can use for wounds. And the Native Americans use it for diapers. Well, looks like we're past the bog, back into the bug woods. I'm in an old growth hemlock forest, which is pretty nice because it's really open. And it's usually not as muddy in hemlock forest. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because hemlocks like areas that drain better, or if hemlock forests drain better than broadleaf forests, you know, like hardwood forests, like maple. But it's kind of cool. I really like it. I always liked the hemlock forest. I kind of remember from my first through hike, because it's kind of park-like in here. It's real big and open. The canopy is pretty high off the ground, and there's all these thick hemlock trees that look pretty mature. It's kind of peaceful too. So I'm doing like a 15-mile hike today, roughly, which, you know, I had to cross the Kennebec River crossing, which was doesn't start till 9, so I didn't get like a real early start today, and it's been mostly flat, but it'll be nice to get to camp because I got some good food that I want to try. And then tomorrow is going to be a challenging climb through Little Bigelow, which is a big high mountain, which is one of the bigger mountains I'm going to encounter on the Appalachian Trail, is the Bigelow Mountains. Because southern Maine is one of the hardest states on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm doing that first. And then Mount Washington in New Hampshire. So Maine and New Hampshire are arguably the two hardest states. So when you're sobo, you do them first. You get them out of the way, and then everything after that, you kind of feel like you're coasting. So that's kind of one reason I like going sobo. Here is a huge, huge dragonfly. Where the heck is he? There he is. He's like a good 3.5 inches long, it looks like. Yes, dragonfly. I can't even see its wings, they look invisible. Man, is he alive? That is a big boy. Is he alive? Look at that giant dragonfly. Yeah, he's alive. This fucker is huge. It's a giant. It's almost as long as my cell phone. Giant dragonfly. I'm gonna definitely have to try to identify it. Look at his wings go all the way out here. He is a big, big boy. There's another angle of that thick dragonfly. I mean, I'm gonna try to be accurate, and he's probably at least 3 inches long. Not exaggerating. It's longer than my phone is wide, but it's not quite as long as my phone. But it's like, I mean, this is a big chungus of a dragonfly. It's really, really cool. And he's got a beautiful blue markings and a green eye. It's amazing.